You know, we all know what happened on the Nostromo when they broke the quarantine procedures. When Ripley tried to keep the door closed and that idiot Ash opened it up, it cost everyone on the ship their life.
That's right. That's right. And we also know that from what was it? The Thing. You know, the dog comes along, and they put the dog into quarantine because the dog is suspicious. You know, where's the dog? Where'd the dog come from? How come the dog is the only survivor? And the next thing you know, someone wants to go check on the dog. You know, nah, don't check on the dog. The dog is in quarantine.
Go ahead.
What I love, that's one of my all-time favorite movies, and I love when that thing goes into the kennel. First of all, Clark, the dog handler, way incompetent. That thing went in the kennel like 12 hours after it arrived in camp. So who knows what that dog did, but we suspect it got someone. My daughter and I have arguments. She says the dog got Palmer. I think the dog got Norris, but that's an argument for another day that John Carpenter fans will have to sort out for us. That thing went into the kennel late at night, but as soon as that thing starts howling and making strange sounds, what's there to talk about? What's the discussion going to be?
I'm with you. And if we want to get like even crazier here, we can go all the way to the very favorite pandemic show was Andromeda Strain. And I don't know if you remember, but it was like, it doesn't exactly age in a terribly great way, but it's still really interesting. It was shot in a outdated chemical warfare military, what do they call it? Test plant or whatever.
Yeah, it was like a nuclear silo or something.
Yeah, and every layer, you go down deeper into this laboratory, you become more and more clean until they're putting like suppositories up their ass and they're getting them out there, the layer of their skin burnt off on the outside. They can't have any bacteria in their body. They're taking antibiotics and they're working in bunny suits. Do you remember that show?
Dude, I love not just the show. I love the original movie, which I think is a Michael Crichton program.
It is a Michael Crichton. It is indeed Michael Crichton, and it was based on like real protocols and real science. And they're going through. They find it right away, and they're going, well, why? But it mutates. So what are we going to? It keeps changing on us. What are we going to do? And do you remember there was a child that was colicky that was alive, and there was a wino that was also alive for a while, but then he died. And they were going, why are they the same? Why are they the same? And they kept coming back to this while they were in the lab working. We got to find a common element, and we'll find our way through this thing. It was fantastic medical science kind of mystery.
I think Arthur Hill was the star of that, actually, if I remember. It had such a haunting beginning because they go into this town, and you don't know what killed these people. There's just bodies.
Everyone's laying dead, just quiet, wind blowing.
But I remember like the Andromeda Strain, the moment that I loved that stuck with me as a kid is when the dude's got to run the gauntlet up the ladder and the lasers are trying to kill him. And he's like,
so for the framework is that in this, it was an existing chemical warfare, laboratory for the military. They have, if there's any escape, if the system determines that there's a breach of any of the protocols it will try to kill what it is. It's getting like a rat or something like that is coming through the ventilation. It has lasers that will cook them, that will kill them on the way. And then also the whole place goes into a meltdown situation where an atomic bomb actually will go off, destroying everything from the core. So he's climbing the gauntlet, and the lasers are trying to like burn him. And he takes off his suit, right? Because he realizes what's the commonality between the wino and the colicky baby? Hyperventilation. They have highly oxygenated blood. So he just starts ripping his shit off, or they start giving him information. You can take your shit off, hyperventilate. So I was wondering, like, were they all hyperventilating for the next 9 weeks? But I didn't want to go there. But
yeah, I don't want to go there either. What's interesting is we are in agreement that it's a Crichton property as we remember it. And I think we're right about that. Which means a good part of that's probably based on fact, knowing how Crichton operated. So there's probably bases like that with similar protocols like that. And the medical, because Crichton was a doctor, is probably pretty spot on, I would guess, or close to it, or based in real science. So yeah, that's the it's amazing. We talk COVID-19 and we immediately go to Cassandra Crossing, The Thing, and the Andromeda Strain.
Yeah, those are the ones. Well, those are the ones, The
bonus round for Alien, because Ripley tried to keep the bastard outside and Ash, the android, let it in. Fucker.
Yeah. And remember, she almost did the same thing. Basically, the cat at the end was the same thing, right? She forgot, my kitty cat, I gotta go back and get my cat. And you're thinking, I just hate you guys.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make her go back and get the cat. Yeah, she heads back for the cat. Where is it? There's a monster after her, and she's trying to save her cat.
I think most of us are in agreement after, first of all, we'd all have some pretty serious PTSD after battling that monster, but I think most of us would be like, cat's not going to know what hits it. It's not going to know.
The cat's going to be okay. If the cat is fine, actually, if you had a child with you, would say, the cat is friends with the alien. You'd make up a little story just to appease our sensibilities. So we just leave the cat behind because he wants to be friends with the alien. We'll close the door and we'll blow it up. I'd be like, the cat's already on the shuttle. Let's go. I already put the cat on the shuttle. I mean, the funny thing about it is it's that one thing that everyone in the theater, I remember seeing that as like a 9-year-old kid. And that moment when she goes back to the cat sucked all the air out of the theater, but it was the perfect device to drive the chaos forward. Another ratchet. That's where the whole movie kind of goes to 11, where you're like, what? Yeah, you're in because you finally get there. She's actually sealing she's in the what do you call it, the escape craft or whatever it is. What do they call it? They called it
the life pod.
She gets to the pod. She's sealing it up. She's preparing to blast off, and she realizes that. And the thing is, you think it's in the room then, and that no, it's not in the room then. It's coming down the hallway for her, and then she, I have to go get the cat. You go, oh, and I remember the air going out of the bed. You go, oh no. Well, I love when just before they discover Ash is an android, and they're talking about the life, the shuttle, the life support pod, and all that. And Ripley, brilliant performance, by the way, by Sigourney Weaver. I mean, she was fantastic. Telling you when they don't absolutely fantastic. And I worked with her on the Marvel shows. I worked with her on.
Yes. Did Alien come up?
Oh, I talk to her about it all the time. About how she sort of helped formulate my adolescent images of women on screen. She was a superhero. She was the strongest person, the smartest person. She was also the sexiest person ever.
Well, we bought it. I mean, the thing about it is that part everyone knows by now. That part was originally written for a man, and I believe it was Alan Ladd, or it's Alan Ladd who takes credit for it, who ran Fox at the time. One of the. I didn't know that. That. He was one of the architects on Star Wars. He was the guy that said, take out all the effects of the Omen and just have a straightforward horror locomotive coming out. Very smart producer. I actually was at the front desk at ICM with him once, and I was pulverized because I recognized him as being the industry juggernaut responsible for so many creative decisions that governed the fear of my childhood. But in Alien, right, she plays this part and everyone buys into it. It's such an organic performance. And I think we've seen a lot of actors and actresses try to force those roles down our throat lately. But she really handles it. And the funny thing about it is when they're having that debate about the shuttle, even when I was a kid, I thought this, and they go, Lambert's like, we got to get out of here. We take our chances on the shuttle. And she's like, the shuttle won't take 4. And I remember thinking, who the fuck designed this rescue shuttle? There's 7 crew members. It's like, where are the designers? And that you can picture
they're in the White House. They're in the White House with Trump.
I was gonna say, there's a scene cut from the movie, right, where they're building the ship, and some designer goes, we'll save a couple $100,000 if we cut the life support shuttle from 7 passengers to 3.
And by the way, you would say as a designer, why would everyone leave the ship? There's got to be a couple of fatalities before you decide to jump ship. Otherwise, why would you?
Right. Well, you're going to spend your time in some sort of industrial court-martial for the rest of your life if you can't justify trying to save the ship before you jump. So.
Well, yeah, but on the other hand, it would take me that long. I would have been in that ship a long time ago. By the time number 2 got it, actually, when that thing leapt onto that guy's face, I would have been running to the shuttle.
That's
I would have been sprinting against you, probably. We'd both be running for the shuttle.
Well, I'm definitely out when the thing blows through the dude's chest. That's when I'm like, ticket to the shuttle, please. I'm out.
Your road to redemption is paved with tombstones. No quarter, kill all masters. Go to noquarterkillallmasters.com. Rated R.